We're on the road. Where transportation goes, community grows. Welcome to On the Road with the MTA. And welcome to another edition of On the Road with the MTA. I'm Jay Gibbons alongside with Stephanie Kay from the MTA, who's right in the studio with me today.
I am.
See, I'm trying to make all these rhymes up.
Well, way to go there. Good way.
Good way.
Good segue. Well, Jay, I always enjoy working with you. You're always so uplifting and happy.
Yes.
And
I'm getting stronger because I'm uplifting so much.
Yeah. And you're always talking about how exciting each and every episode is.
Yeah.
So we try to keep them exciting by going out into the community and finding out the great things people are doing. And there's so many wonderful things. Haven't you been impressed with what we've had so far?
Absolutely. This is episode, I think, 108, and all of them. Yes, we have been just right on the ball.
You know, I learn something new every day, either about MTA or how we're partnering together with other organizations. Like the Shelter of Flint, we had that on just recently, and how they take in families that are in need of a home, food, services. There's just so many wonderful things out there.
Absolutely.
Well, we have something great today, too. I have a friend of mine, Tony Tucker. This guy is amazing. When I worked in the radio station, I first met Tony when he was out collecting bikes. He would take bikes in or buy them, pick them up off the side of the street. People donate them.
That, yeah.
Yes, and he would fix them up. And once a year, he just opened them up to all the kids in the neighborhood to make sure they had bikes. And he also owned a restaurant, and he provided the food for that as well, all totally free for these kids. He has the heart of gold. I swear he has little angels under his shirt. And now he's actually working for the old Newsboys. And he had to close the store because of the restaurant. That was a great restaurant. Tony Tucker's with us right now. Tony Tucker, what was the name of that restaurant that you had on Fenton Road?
Crystal Joe's Diner.
That was the best food. Have you ever been there?
Never been there.
Oh, you've missed out. They had the best. I hope I say this. I mean it in a good way when I say it's greasy and delicious. And
so it's
wonderful.
Great diner food.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything. The breakfast.
We were authentic. We did have salads on the menu, but you were shamed if you were.
It is so true. Oh, it was delicious. Your French fries and the cheeseburgers. And I think my friend had a corned beef. That was wonderful. And I had breakfast there. That was probably the best food I think I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Did you ever have a waitress named Flo?
I did not.
Okay.
No, but he did have. Go ahead.
But I did use Progressive for auto insurance.
And he did have a gentleman that worked there that had, I think it was a single father, and he'd up and braid his daughter's hair in the morning. He had had a stroke, I believe. He was a boxer and had a stroke, didn't he, Tony? Or fire?
He had a brain injury.
Okay.
But it wasn't. He was hurt in a UFC fight, actually.
Okay, but Tony, who is a very nice-looking guy, took it upon himself to say, okay, I'm going to box a professional boxer to raise money to help this man. And I got to tell you, Tony, I try to pay you not to box, and you still went in the ring.
I told you if you could raise money than I had already raised, I'd give everybody their money back.
I wish I could, because I saw you on Facebook. You had a black eye going, well, it wasn't so bad. I did collect some money from my friend. How much did you make? Do you remember?
I actually had 2 black eyes.
Oh, you poor. And you said he took it easy on you because he knew you were a good guy, right?
Yeah, I picked him because I knew he cared about me.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Tony, is I don't think people realize what a great heart that you had way back. It's not just because you're helping the old Newsboys, but I think we all know and love and miss Chris Hamilton. And he handpicked Tony. He said, I want him to take over for me when it comes time. And everybody knows you are in the right spot to do this because you have such a good, giving, generous heart. And I know it's not as easy as you may have thought it was. And you had to give up Crystal Joe's and give up the bikes to make this community a better place with the old Newsboys. Can you give us an idea? Tell people what the old Newsboys is all about. I know, but somebody listening might not. Can you explain it for them?
I can. The old Newsboys has been around since 1924. So we're coming up on our 100-year anniversary here in just a short couple of years. And it got started off to help out underprivileged children in Genesee County who were unable, because of parents who were unable to provide for them for Christmas at absolutely no fault of the children's. And it took off, and it's massive today. It started small, and now we service an average of 5,000 children every single year right in our own county.
Wow.
And every one of those children receives toothpaste, toothbrush, socks, underwear, sweatshirts, sweatpants, age-appropriate gifts, varying on how many they get depending on how we're doing and what we receive and what we're able to purchase. We also give every single kid a winter hat. They get 3M winter gloves. And in addition to that, we have a coat and shoe program where children in Genesee County who are Genesee County residents or enrolled in school can get a brand new coat and brand new shoes every other year from us.
Wow.
So there's a huge need in Genesee County, and I really feel like we're helping bridge that gap.
Oh, I know you are. I've seen it firsthand. I think I shared with you before that Mike and I, when we were doing the radio station, we would go out and collect for the old newsboys. And I cannot tell you how many successful business owners would come up to me and say, I have to donate because when I was a child, that box that you just described with the sweatshirt and the age-appropriate toy and the gloves was the only gift they received for Christmas because their parents had nothing. That was the only gift they received is why they want to come and make sure they can donate to other kids in the future. And that just warmed my heart. And there were so many successful stories about that you've helped them in the past. So I want to help. And I know, how can we help? How can we donate for you?
The first way, if you can donate right now, you can go to our website, oldnewsboys.org, or just Google Old Newsboys Flint, and Google will bring it up. It'll suggest it to you. It's very easy to find. Right there on the top of the page, you can go to donate, and you can donate as much as you want, $1 or $1,000, anything that you want to do. Every little bit helps.
Well, I know you're doing the pin sale right now, which I love. This little button, and the button will have the information on it, and it's only $20 for the button, and that actually buys this box he's talking about for the kids to get for Christmas. How can you afford to put all of that in there, sweatshirts and sweatpants and the gloves and the underwear and the age-appropriate toy for only $20 in each one of these boxes? It has to cost more than that, doesn't it?
It does. It absolutely does. But business owners and different organizations throw fundraisers every year throughout the summer and spring, and that's where the rest of the money gets made up. And I go to businesses and go to different individuals, and I hear it all the time. They'd be like, "Hey, man, it's February. You're already fundraising for Christmas." And I said, "Well, think about it. You have kids at home. You know how challenging and taxing it is on your body and brain when you're getting ready to buy Christmas presents to make sure they have a wonderful Christmas morning. Well, we have 5,000 of those kids we're trying to get to, and we have to start the beginning of every single year all over again."
Wow. You guys do a phenomenal job. I know you're going to be at the whatchamacallit, which is the name of it. It's not just a candy bar, Jay.
Right.
You did say it's a candy bar. But whatchamacallit is the name of it's a fundraiser every year that they do at the Financial Plus right there on Vance Lake. And it's early in the morning. I believe it starts at 7 a.m. on December 9th. And the Old Newsboys will be doing their paper sale that day. Won't you be out in the cold in the streets selling those newspapers?
My absolute favorite day of the year, when all the people are having a great time over there at whatchamacallit, I will be standing at the corner or the intersection of Elms and Pearson Road out there selling our newspapers.
Well, be careful out there. People drive crazy, and you're going to be out in the cold. I do worry about you out there. So how does that work with paper sales?
We've been pretty lucky. Everybody follows the rules like they're supposed to. We wear our vests. We got cones out there. We wouldn't block traffic up so much if not so many wonderful people wanted to stop and help and share their heartwarming stories.
Yeah, what's some of the best stories you've heard? Because I know you've had great ones. You've shared them at the chamber events. You've made me cry every time. Can you share some of the best stories with us?
Most recently, I had a quite elderly woman approach me and give me the warmest hug I think I've ever had in my life. And she said that me personally, was the reason that she had a Christmas when she was a child. And I didn't know what to say. I'm thinking I wasn't even around yet. But, the idea, it's not what I'm doing. It's about what the community is doing. It's about what all the staff and the board members and everybody at the Old Newsboys is doing. It's a symbol that people see. They don't just see an individual, just like when somebody buys one of those pins and they're wearing it around town, they're becoming that symbol as well. It's just a symbol of love and appreciation and willingness to help.
I see that. A friend of ours that we both know there from the chamber event has 15 pins all over his jacket. And he wears them every year proudly. So people say, what are those about? So we can say, well, I'm glad you asked. Here's a pin.
Here we go. Yeah.
Well, and I went to a dinner with my girlfriends and they all bought one. It's an easy way to give back for the community, and it shows that you have supported and you're helping a child. What could be better than that?
Absolutely.
So, Jay, would you like a pen?
Yes, I would.
All right.
I'll take 15 of them.
Okay, well, there you go. And one will do, so
yes.
Thank you. And now, if somebody wants to do that, when they're there at whatchamacallit on December 9th, there's a free breakfast, there's all kinds of giveaways, there's raffles, and they can donate to the Old Newsboys right there and then, too, can't they?
Yes, absolutely. In addition to us being at the whatchamacallit over there at Financial Plus, we're also going to be at Shea Chevrolet. Shea Chevrolet is doing something new with us this year. They're putting on a telethon. So all day long on paper sale day, there will be phones ringing over at Shea, and we're going to have volunteers outside there too. So I've been told many times that, I really wanted to buy a newspaper in the intersection, but I'm just terrified to stop my car like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have different businesses all over now, and we'll have banners in front of them. So if you're uncomfortable, please go to one of those local businesses. And you'll see the signs. And Shea Chevrolet is one of them. They got a huge parking lot. They got acres of parking lot.
Yeah, they sure do.
We'll have tons of volunteers out there being able to sell you those buttons, pins, take donations. And we're also going to have boxes set up. So the kids want to run a program where children have an opportunity to give a child they don't know a gift. And that's going to be the drop point for them. That's
great. I love that. Now, also, don't you have something on December 7th at Luigi's? What's that about?
We do, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. It's called Blue Christmas at Luigi's, and it's played by our beloved Blue Hawaiians. They're very well known in Flint, and they're going to be up there. It's going to be fundraiser. You can come on, order something to drink, get something to eat, and enjoy yourself. And you'll be able to buy a newspaper you won't be able to buy a newspaper there, but you will be able to buy a pin. Nobody gets a newspaper until the 9th. If I'm able.
All right, well, I'm going to be there for sure. My friends Steve and Roseanne Hetty are always there. I look forward to seeing them. I know the Blue Hawaiians are playing. So it's December 7th at Luigi's. You have something going on before that, and then the band starts. So tell us about the whole lineup.
We are going to be out there. They'll be able to come by, show their support, buy a pin, make a donation from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. And we'll have 103.9 to Fox out there from 5 p.m. until 7 as well.
Oh, those are good guys. Yeah, Johnny to celebrate his 50 years on air. That was really cool.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. I was there to help celebrate it and be a little surprise for him. So that's very cool. You're always doing great things in the community.
That Johnny, he's another one that's always doing great in the community. That's actually how I met him.
Oh, really?
Yep. Back when I was at the restaurant, I was so embarrassed because I'd heard him on the radio, but I'd never seen the guy. I didn't know who he was.
Sure.
And he came into the restaurant and he introduced himself, and I was like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you." And he goes, "You don't know who I am, do you?"
Nope.
Sorry, I don't. And then he told me, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, shoot. Yeah. I'm sorry, I do. And then
you wouldn't have known.
I'm here to give you $1,000.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you didn't recognize his voice when he started talking?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm.
You know what? You're out of the element. You're working.
Yeah.
He gave you $1,000 because of the money he collects for the children's fund, right?
From the Johnny Brooks Children Foundation.
Yeah.
They said I talked about it, and they wanted to help with my bicycle program that I was doing at that time. So that's how I met the guy.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, I'll never forget how you did that bicycle. I don't know how you afforded to do all that. And how many bicycles do you think that you actually gave away in the course of you doing this?
Approximately 6,500 in 8 years.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
That's a lot.
Did you find that many people wanted to donate to that as well when they found out what you were doing? Because I saw it on television too. I'm sure that helped.
It was truly amazing, to be honest with you. And honestly, if doing that job is how I ended up with the old Newsboys.
Well, say you do good and good comes to you. And that's definitely proof with you.
And it was good timing because the township I live in was very unhappy with me.
Oh, because of all the bikes, yes.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't have wanted to live next door to me either.
Are you still in that house?
I am, but it's all cleaned up now.
Oh, they must love you having this new job, don't they?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, I was going to say, go ahead.
I had a neighbor that wouldn't speak to me, and now we're friends.
That's great. You found a new neighbor. I love it. Now, I had a chance. Go ahead.
Or another. He never asked, never seen it on the news or anything. He just thought I was a crazy person, which I'm not saying I'm not.
I love that. Well, I had a chance, I had the honor to go through, and I had a tour of the old Newsboys over there on Taylor Drive. It was right next to the radio station we used to work in. And I was really impressed at how well organized everything was. You had coats all lined up with the right sizes, and you had a lot of room to store that stuff, which takes a lot of room. And can people bring you new coats? Can they donate those to you?
Absolutely. As long as they're brand new. We can only give away brand new items.
Good. I like that.
And that's something we started doing because of COVID.
Is that the only thing they like? Can you do gloves and hats if they're brand new, or bikes? I mean, what all can you take as donations?
If you want to drop off a bicycle, we'll take it. If it's brand new. But that created some complication in the beginning. They were dropping off truckloads of bicycles that I would have collected 5 years ago.
Sure.
But we'll take a set of Legos, a stuffed animal, socks, anything. I mean, anything that's for a child that's new, we'll find at a home. And people need to remember too that, you're thinking about socks or underwear or coats or hats and stuff. And you think, well, that's not a kid's. Well, there's 12, 11-year-old children out here, boys and girls, that I meet all the time. And I'm 5'11", and they're taller than I am.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not forget that not all our children are just the little ones. We take children, all the way up until high school.
Well, that's why I just saw a thing that said, don't make fun of a child if they're a big teenager that come to your door to do trick-or-treating, because at least they're trick-or-treating. They're not doing something bad.
Exactly.
And I was this tall when I was 10 years old, so I was very tall.
Wow.
And I know. I moved here, and my mom took me out trick-or-treating because I didn't know anybody. And the first lady said, "Aren't you too old to be trick-or-treating?" And I said, "Well, I'm only 10. She goes, "No, you're not." I thought, so I went back to my mom and said, I think I'm done trick-or-treating. And she's like, why? I said, that's okay. I just want to go home. And so I didn't want to make her feel bad. But yeah, be nice to these kids. Like you said, Tony, they could be taller than you and bigger than you and need more than we realize. So, yeah. So if you can find even the bigger size coats, bring them in, right? You'll find a home somewhere for them.
Absolutely. We, there's a need for 2 and 3X jackets.
Oh, sure.
It may not be an everyday thing, but we're not always able to, quickly fulfill that need just for those reasons. And in addition to that as well, and it's not utilized as much as it should be, but we'll work with the Red Cross. So if somebody has a fire and they come to us after their fire and they bring us their paperwork, we're not only able to get the children going with clothing and hygiene products, but we can help the parents as well.
Oh, that's very nice. I did not realize you did that as well. So very cool. Well, I know. So anything, I know that a lot of times I will go to a store, maybe after the season, like Halloween, like last year for Halloween, I got a lot of cute little shirts that were, half off or more. I've found too, if you talk to somebody, the manager at maybe Target or Meijer or wherever you're shopping, and you tell them you're buying for the old newsboys or for these children, a lot of times they will give you a better discount. And you can buy a lot of stuff to take over to you because that helps a lot too. And do you give them like a tax deduction? Like if they donate, say 50 coats, can they have a tax deduction from you?
They can have a tax deduction if they donate 1 coat.
Aw.
We're on site, willing to write it for them on spot.
Aww.
Not only that, anybody who buys a button can receive a receipt on the spot.
Yes, I have an envelope from you, and you put that in there, that little receipt for the taxes. You put the big flyer that you can put your name on if you've bought a pin. You can have a pin. And it also tells you what all's inside that box, which is a lot of stuff for only $20. I'm really impressed with you, Tony.
Yep. I wish I could take credit for it. I'm just, I'm still new. I'm still learning. All this was in place before I came in, and I don't want to take any credit from anybody.
Well, I know you don't, but you tell your stories, and you're out there working, and you are the one. You're the face right now, the face and voice of Old Newsboys, and we know how hard you're working for it. So, you've told me some other stories. I can't remember them all, but is there any other stories you'd like to share with us before we wrap it up?
Well, it's not so much a story, but if I can share something. I have been helping with paper sale for, if it's 6 or 7 years, I'd have to dig my pins out. We need the younger generation to come out and participate. It's been taken care of by the UAW for many, many years, and a lot of them, men and women, have moved away or became ill, or just they're ready to stop. They're ready to pass the torch. Mm-hmm. When people hear the word volunteer, I've heard some crazy stories about different volunteering positions, but we have people that come out, and I had 2 of them last year that came to my corner for 30 minutes, 2 different people during the day, just so I could get out of the road for a minute, drink some coffee, and then get back in the game. So if they want an opportunity to do so, they don't have to come out and stand out there for hours. Come out for a half hour, come out for 2 hours, come out with whatever you're comfortable with. And all I ask is that they call the office and tell them they want to volunteer for paper sale day. What
is the number at the office?
810-744-1840. And they're looking for Lisa.
Okay, Lisa. She's going to get all these phone calls now. Thanks a lot, Tony. I hope she does. So it's 810-744-1840.
Yeah, and that's it. Just call her and tell her what neighborhood you're in or what area you work in. Say, hey, you know what? I'd really like to come out on my lunch break for a half an hour. Or, hey, if I could be as close to my house as possible, I'd really appreciate that. And we'll do the best we can to accommodate. And if they don't want to stand in the road, that's okay, too. Because, again, we have businesses that are allowing us to stand out in front of them now.
Oh, good. Don't you also need volunteers to maybe sort the clothes, the brand new coats that you receive, or organize that kind of stuff, or put the boxes together? Who does that?
We take care of that months ahead of time as far as our volunteers and who comes in. If anybody is interested in doing that, it's a little late this season, but if they want to call, early in the season or early in the year, that's the best time to get their name in.
And if somebody really needs this for their children, how can they get a hold of you to say my child is, 4 and they need something? How do they get a hold of you to do that?
Call the office, 810-744-1840, or go to our website. We updated our website a couple years back when I first started there, and they have made it incredibly easy. I'm the guy who has a hard time not really answering my phone, but I have a very difficult time checking my emails from my phone. I don't know. I'm not great at it, but I have been on, and I did go on and I did sign myself up for a Christmas box just to see how difficult it was.
Yeah.
And I had absolutely no trouble doing it all. I also went on and signed myself up to order sweatshirts. So if you want to know where to get an Old Newsboy sweatshirt, you can just go straight to our website. It's on the top of the page.
Oh.
Very simple. very easy to do. Anybody could do it.
Are you selling those sweatshirts like maybe at Luigi's or at the whatchamacallit or not?
It's going to be our online ordering system only.
Okay.
Unfortunately, pre-orders haven't worked out in the past when we had a lot of sweatshirts left over and we were having a hard time moving them.
Okay. I'll buy one. How much are they?
You can buy a non-American made one, which I believe is $35, or an American made one for $45. And they're really sharp this year. And I'm not a big fan of the color red, but it's a good looking color red.
I want to check it out. Do they have hoodies on them, like a sweatshirt with hoods or zip up? Or
hoodies, t-shirts, and long sleeve t-shirts.
Nice.
I'm going to go check that out. So the website, once again, it's oldnewsboys.com?
.org.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm going to check that out. Tony, thank you. I know you have another fundraiser you got to run to. You're just a busy, busy man. You're everywhere. And is there anything else you'd like to cover before we let you go for the rest of the day?
No, I'm sorry I didn't have a bunch of those heartwarming stories for you. I'm usually a lot more honest when I don't feel on the spot, so I apologize.
No. You've told your stories during the chamber events, and they weren't even like made up. You weren't practicing them. You just talked about somebody who I think they lost their home or something. It was just heartwarming that the people that you've reached out to help. And I just thank you for everything you've done, because I don't think people realize what a great heart you had, and I wanted them to know that.
I do have a favorite Old Newsboys story, but I heard it from somebody else.
That's okay. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
My absolute favorite story I've ever heard about the Old Newsboys was a family would go out every Christmas Eve. And, they would go to the Old Newsboys and they would receive the packages for the children, and then they would hide them away. And then they never decorated for Christmas until Christmas Eve. So after all the Christmas tree stores and everything was closed, the roadside stands, they would go out and they would borrow or whatever, take their
recycle.
That would have been mulched or just, it wasn't going to sell. No one's buying a cut Christmas tree on New Year's Day.
Right.
So, and they would go out and they would take one of those trees and they would take it home at night and they would decorate the tree together as a family. And they would rewrap all the presents that they received from the Old Newsboys and put them under the tree. And then when they woke up, I'm getting misty right now.
I got goosebumps.
When they woke up in the morning, that's how they would, ring in their Christmas.
Wow.
And I can really identify with that, being the youngest of 7 children and coming from a family of, just good, hardworking people. We didn't always have things that were new. We didn't always have things that were shiny, but I can really identify with that story because we did stuff that, as I got older, people would think it was weird. But it wasn't weird to us. It was our tradition, and it was how we expressed our love and appreciation for each other.
I love that story. I got goosebumps. You got teary-eyed, and I think we've warmed some hearts out there as well. Tony, thank you for sharing that story again. That's the one I remember that you told the chamber, but I'd forgotten the details, so thanks for reiterating that one.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Well, absolutely. And I've already bought a button. I've sold some buttons, but I'm going to buy some more and donate some more. I'll go online at oldnewsboys.org and check out those long sleeve t-shirts and the sweatshirts. Just give a donation. And if you're out and about and you see these coats on sale, my mom found a coat for $5 after the winter was over. So she bought a bunch of those. You can donate those so much easier. So
yep.
Thank you, Tony. Well, good luck to everything you're doing. Good luck with your next fundraiser you're taking off to. I'll see you on December 7th at Luigi's and December 9th at whatchamacallit, and out on the road for your paper sales on December 9th too. But stay safe out there, okay?
Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything you do as well.
You bet. All right, Tony Tucker from the Old Newsboys. Thank you. He's on the road with the MTA, Stephanie K, and Jay.
That's me.
We do it every week. Yep. As long as we can find something wonderful in the community to share with you, it's going to come on. And you can come on as well.
You've been listening to On the Road with the MTA. For more information on our services and community outreach, visit us online anytime at www.mtaflint.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The MTA, your community, your connection, your way.